I don't know how a snake walks, but he seemed to walk in my dream. I looked back and I saw he was so wounded and swollen, the whole body, except the tail part. And so I was so broken in my heart. So I knew, and I was so heartbroken. I knelt down in front of him. I said, please, don't die. Let me die for you. And I cried for him. I really wanted to die for him. I really felt that it was so terrible. I say, just whatever happened, just let me bear it for you. Let me die for you. And I woke up at that time. And then I said to one of the attendants at that time, I said, oh, geez, how come I had a dream like that? Take a snake by his tail and go walking. And I didn't realize it hurt him so much. And I felt so very, very hurt about that, very bad, that I knelt beside him and said, please don't die. Just let me die for you. And so I said, how come you want to die for a snake? Kept asking myself. Yeah. And I said to the attendant, it's a strange dream. Even if it happened like so, how can I truly want to die for the snake instead of him? I wanted to replace him, to die for him instead, and suffer for him instead. I said, how come? It's so strange. If you want to die for your loved one or a person, you can understand, but for a snake, who has heard of these things? How come it's such a strange dream? And so the attendant said, it is because you're always full of love. So even in a dream, even for the snake, you would express this kind of attitude and have this kind of mental attitude. So I was enlightened then, through the attendant. And he was correct, even in a dream, if we can express our love, that means we must have it on a daily basis. Otherwise, how could we remember it then? And even for a snake, and a poisonous snake, it bites everybody and makes people trouble. Yes. So take care that we nourish this kind of love, inside us all the time until it becomes our nature. First and second nature, and one and only nature. And then everything we do will only benefit others. Whether we do it in a strong way, in an apparently angry way, or in a loving way. You understand what I mean? It doesn't matter at all. It's just like a skilled surgeon, a skilled doctor, who can give you a sweet pill or who can cut you into pieces in order to heal you. If we do not take care of this love and try to nourish it, then we cannot progress, because the way to God is through love. If we love every other sentient being, that means we love God. That means God is inside us, and God loves His children. And that's how we attract people. By this love, it's like a magnet. Everyone likes us, loves us, and we don't know why, and the people don't know why also. This is the love that attracts people, not the appearance, or the sex, female or male, or the education.